My sister said I ruined her engagement photos. She said my wheelchair didn't fit the vibe. Minutes later, I was bleeding on the floor, glass in my hands, staring up at strangers while the one person who caused it all smiled and called me a liar. The engagement party had been designed to look effortless, but nothing about it was. Every petal, ribbon, and champagne flute seemed placed with ruthless precision, as if beauty itself might crack if disturbed. When I rolled through the garden gates, pastel everywhere. I knew instantly. I didn't belong in Cassie's picture-perfect fantasy. The invitation had demanded soft spring colors. So I wore pale pink silk, curled my hair, did everything I could to blend in. But my wheelchair lightweight carbon fiber black stood out anyway. I'd paid for it dollar by dollar over 2 years. It wasn't decoration. It was my legs. Cassie spotted me near the fountain. She looked flawless, silvery lace, sculpted makeup, a smile practiced for cameras. For half a second, something flickered in her eyes. Then it vanished. "You came," she said. "Not, I'm glad." Just confirmation I gave her the gift vintage pearl earrings I'd hunted down for weeks. She'd once said they reminded her of our grandmother. Cassie barely glanced at them. "They look old," she muttered. Setting the box aside as if it embarrassed her, I swallowed it, like always. Then her eyes dropped to my chair. Her expression hardened. "What is that doing here?" "This," I asked carefully. "It's my wheelchair." She leaned in, voice sharp and low. "It's black. It ruins everything." Before I could respond, she stormed off, returning moments later with a white tablecloth. She snapped it open and tried to drape it over me, over the chair. Like I was furniture that didn't match something in me, finally broke. "No," I said, pushing it away. Her face flushed red. "Ungrateful," she hissed and walked off. For the next hour, she worked the crowd smoothly. I felt it before I heard it, the whispers, the looks. She was rewriting the story in real time, telling people I exaggerated my injury, that I liked the attention, that I could walk if I wanted. And the worst part? Some of them believed her. I stayed near the garden edge, invisible, until the photographer arrived and Cassie called for family photos. Her eyes locked on me across the lawn, and I knew whatever came next wouldn't be quiet. I thought the picture would be embarrassing. I had no idea it would end with screaming, shattered glass. And sirens. The photographer waved everyone into place beneath an arch packed with flowers worth more than my rent. Chairs were arranged. Smiles snapped on. Everyone except me. Cassie stared at my wheelchair like it offended her personally. At the far end of the lineup, she pointed to a rigid banquet chair. "Sit there," she said sweetly. "Move the chair out of frame. We want this photo uniform." My stomach dropped. "You know I can't," I whispered. "I don't have the balance. I'll fall." Her smile stayed frozen for the crowd. Her eyes did not. "You always do this," she murmured, "ruining things." Then quieter, venomous. "Stand up. You're faking anyway." Before I could react, she grabbed me under my arm and yanked. The world tilted not. My hands grasped for something solid and found nothing. Cassie stumbled back, regaining her balance easily. I didn't. I pitched forward into the champagne tower. The sound was unreal, glass exploding, metal clinking, liquid splashing everywhere. Pain lit my hands, my face, my neck. My head hit the tile hard enough to blur the sky above me. Champagne soaked my dress, mixed with blood. Silence fell over the garden. I couldn't move. Fear rushed in before pain. My neck screamed. I stared at the pale blue sky and tried not to breathe wrong. Above me, Cassie's voice shrieked, not in concern. My dress. My engagement photos. Someone started to step forward, but another voice cut clean through the panic. "Do not touch her." A calm voice, commanding. A woman dropped to her knees beside me, hands steady as she braced my head perfectly. "Professional, certain, don't move," she said. "I've got you." I knew that voice. Dr. Helena Kingsley, the neurosurgeon who had rebuilt my spine. 2 years earlier, She looked up at the crowd. "Call an ambulance." And the police. This was an assault. Cassie protested wildly. She fell. She lies about everything. Dr. Kingsley didn't look at her. "I personally placed 8 screws in this woman's spine," she said loudly. "I know her injuries better than anyone here." The whispers turned sharp. "This woman," she continued, "cannot stand." I sobbed then, not from pain, but from being believed, for the first time in years. I thought the worst was over when the ambulance arrived. I was wrong. The real revelations hadn't even begun. The paramedics moved fast, bracing my neck, strapping me down. Glass still glinted in my skin. Blood pooled beneath me like a bad memory refusing to fade. Police arrived. Then something unexpected happened. Someone stepped forward. "I saw it," a man said clearly. "She pulled her out of the wheelchair. It wasn't an accident." Another voice followed. Then another. Cassie panicked. She denied everything. She cried. She yelled. She reached for comfort that didn't come. Greg, her fiancé, stood frozen. When his gaze met mine, I saw it. Shock, recognition, doubt cracking open. Cassie was cuffed that night. 2 days later, I lay stitched, sore, and exhausted in a hospital room when Greg came to see me. "She lied," he said hollowly, "about everything." Dr. Kingsley arrived with documents. Police reports? Medical records? I wasn't drunk during the accident 2 years ago. I wasn't driving. Cassie was. She had been texting another man when she lost control of the Jeep. I'd warned her. My parents made me lie afterward. To protect her. Greg broke right there. My parents showed up later that night with the same demand they'd always made. Drop the charges. They said, "Family protects family." I didn't argue. "I can't," I said simply. "This isn't in my control anymore." For once, that was the truth. Behind the scenes, things moved quickly. Prosecutors pushed hard. Video evidence surfaced. A plea deal came forward. 10 years in prison, or 2. The condition: full restitution, $420,000. Enough to change my life. I agreed. My parents liquidated everything to buy Cassie mercy, and I signed my statement. Cassie avoided 10 years in a cell. But when the money cleared, my real freedom finally began. Prison didn't change Cassie. It's overnight. But the restitution changed everything for me. I paid my medical debt, bought safety instead of stress, moved into an accessible home that felt like mine, cut contact with my parents completely. I chose peace with Dr. Kingsley's guidance. I traveled, followed experimental research, not miracle promises, but possibility. In Switzerland, during therapy, something small happened. My toe moved, barely, but it moved. I cried like it was gold. That's where I met Mari. She didn't know my story. She didn't speak in pity. She pushed my chair like we'd always known each other. She laughed loudly, loved fiercely. She became my sister in every way that mattered. 18 months after sentencing, I got a letter. Cassie's handwriting, an apology. Simple, unpolished. No excuses. I didn't write back, not because I was angry, but because I was finally free. People think justice is punishment. Sometimes justice is choosing the life that was always waiting for you. Today, I sit by the sea. Sun on my skin. Salt in the air. My black wheelchair rests beside my uncovered. Unapologetic. The same chair Cassie once tried to hide is now my freedom. I'm not forgiven. I'm not healed. But I am alive, believed, and choosing myself. And that changed everything. Some stories end in courtrooms. Others begin the moment you stop shrinking for people who never loved you. Right? This is the human chapter where real pain meets real courage and ordinary lives reveal extraordinary truth. If this story moved you, stay with us. Every scar carries a chapter worth telling, and you're never alone when it's finally time to speak.